I do remember waking up one morning. I went to go wake up my mom, and she asked, "What's that on your head?" And I didn't know what she meant, so I went to the mirror and I looked, and it looked like I had like a tennis ball sized bump on my head. We thought it was just a bruise, but then we went to the doctor, and at first they didn't think it was anything until we went to Children's Mercy, and they found something a lot more serious.
We walk into the appointment and the doctor takes a look at it, and he said, what we found was a lesion that has started on the brain and has eaten a hole through your son's skull and is coming out the other side. And they said the only way we'll know for sure what it is to have a craniotomy to remove it and do a biopsy. He came out from the surgery and he said, "We have great news. This is the best case scenario. It's benign." And I was like, woohoo, this is fantastic. And then we went to the next appointment and I was confused. Why are we in the oncology department? And they said, well, yes, it's a benign tumor, but it's still cancerous. It was the strangest feeling to be happy that your son had cancer because it was treatable versus a cancer that was terminal. And that began our journey. So when we met with our oncologist for the first time, she explained to us that Erik would be going through a full year of chemo. As you can imagine, chemo was tough. He was nauseous and he had headaches a lot. And that really affected just him in general, life at home, but it also affected him at school. This was the very start of his kindergarten year. And so his beginning of what most kids love about kindergarten was really tough as well. I think he missed 55 days of school that year. I didn't realize how lucky we were, because the kind of cancer that Erik has sounds horrifying. A tumor that starts on your brain and eats through your skull doesn't sound like it could get much worse than that. But it was a type of cancer that was very easily treatable with a very specific type of chemo. And it worked. It worked exactly like the doctors said that it would work. But in going through the process and being at an oncology clinic with kids of all ages, newborns, all the way through teenagers, and seeing the struggles that other families were going through, and meeting people along the way who lost their kids, you not only feel lucky that your child was able to get through this in the way that they did, but you feel guilty that other families didn't get that opportunity. Throughout Erik's cancer journey, we were so blessed to be able to go to Children's Mercy. We had the opportunity to meet so many amazing nurses, but one of them, Sherry, was always incredibly joyful, and she knew how to interact with Erik in a positive way, even when he was struggling. And she pulled me aside and she told me about camp. So all those moments that I felt like he was missing out on in his childhood, those times where we had to say no because it wasn't safe, this was gonna give him that opportunity to be a kid again. So we did it. We sent Erik to camp.
Well, one of the things that we always tell our families is that we're gonna be here. Your own nurses, your own doctors are gonna be here looking after your kids. And so you don't have to worry about what if, because we know them already. Camp quality can transform lives. There have been some pretty miserable kids that hated chemotherapy that came to camp, and they became children again.
Another thing that really reassured me as a parent was knowing that he had a companion. Having an adult that was there that has been through their own cancer journey and was kind of a one-on-one support system for my child, I couldn't have asked for anything more as a parent.
My companion this year is Cody, and he's super funny, super active, and always great to be around. He's great at everything. He keeps me active too. Our energy just like bounces off of each other, kind of hype each other up, and just have a lot of fun together.
Every time I come back here, I want to be able to give the kids the same experience that I had when I was a camper, and just that feeling of being able to belong and being welcomed and There's not very many places where a lot of cancer kids can feel that way as they're going through treatment and they're losing their hair and all that type of stuff. And so to be able to provide that for other campers now it's a great honor.
My favorite things are definitely a lot of the activities, but also hanging out with friends that I've made at camp, and even new people that have come that are like just joining this first year, showing them around the campsite and just helping them have a great time.
What I really hope Erik takes home from Camp Quality this year is a sense of accomplishment, is a sense of confidence, a newfound hope that things are possible, and a community that just surrounds him with all of the love and care.
And that's really what camp is about, and to spread that love to other people, just not here at camp, but outside of camp as well. Just the feeling whenever we leave camp in general, I think it's, you leave camp a different person than you come every year.
And this somehow turns those bad experiences around and helps them to know that that's part of what they've conquered, and they can go out and conquer the world.
It's the best camp I've ever been to, and you're free to discuss anything you need to. Everyone is great listeners and will always be there for you.
I think Camp Quality has given Erik his childhood back. He has so many memories from camp that they've almost helped erase some of the memories from chemo.
For families that are considering camp, I want you to think about Erik. I want you to think about a child who has found new friends, who has built a community that supports him in every aspect of his growth and opportunities.
It'll change your life. I mean, it's changed mine, and it's changed probably hundreds of others too.
I started camp 32 years ago as a 13-year-old bald kid who 8 months in from my diagnosis of leukemia, I had no idea what camp was going to be. And I can truly say that I'm here today because of the experiences that camp has provided me.
Camp Quality is an organization that helps families in more ways than just sending their child to camp. Cancer isn't cheap. And being able to provide this to families at no cost when so much of our money at that time in our lives is going to medical bills. And as a donor, knowing that you can help the lives of these kids to really enjoy themselves and to take back a little slice of their childhood is so important.
I don't know what I would do without this camp. I would definitely be very sad if I could not go to this.
Sometimes when we are at home, we are treated differently because we are the cancer kid. And I think what Erik's family realizes is that when he's at camp, he gets to be a kid. And that is the primary focus.
Our family would love to thank Camp Quality for providing our son with a place to go every summer where he can be surrounded by people who love him, people who will care for him, people who he can relate to, and give him a home away from home.